What's up, losers? Today I've got some more posts from r/fatlogic to put under the microscope. And hopefully get a few laughs out of. This is episode 26. Outstanding. Without further delay, let's get right into it.
One of the most common forms of Fedphobia is fear of taking antidepressants due to possible weight gain.
Jesus Christ. Can these people, for once, not make everything about themselves? This is honestly just ridiculous. Here we have a really important mental health issue. Depression. And we have a treatment that might be just what someone needs to deal with it. And dramatically improve their quality of life. But they're a little hesitant to do it. Because they're worried about how their body and appearance might change from taking the medication. Is the appropriate response A. to support them, encourage them, and try to assuage their concerns? Or B. to berate them for even thinking about it? Because your ego is so fragile that you can't tolerate anyone not being 100% okay with being fat like you are. Talk about self-obsessed, right? They're seriously trying to insert themselves into other people's lives and medical decisions that have nothing to do with them, even when the patient is clearly just expressing their own personal desires. And not demeaning fat people in any way. It's like that meme about consensual sex, where the man and the woman consent. But Jesus doesn't, except in this case, it's weight loss instead of sex. And some furious fat activist is playing the part of Jesus LMAO. Honestly, the more you think about this one, the worse it gets, because it manages to be wrong on so many different levels. Like, no, it's not any of your business what side effects someone else is worried about from starting a new medication. No, it's not fatphobic to have a personal preference for being thin. No, it's not wrong to think that being fat is unhealthy. And no, the universe doesn't revolve around you. Size. God, I hope I never have to meet any of these people in real life.
You need body fat to maintain your menstrual cycle. Abs aren't natural on women.
Abs are natural on women. Stop.
We have muscles underneath them. Yes, but defined abs? Hell no, you'll need to have a body fat percentage under the healthy range of body fat. That's when they'll look defined. AKA, that's when someone has abs. So no, it is not normal to have them, nor healthy.
Well, this is a spicy take, isn't it? Needless to say, I think it's pretty silly. Like, sure, women do need some amount of body fat to survive and live healthily. And women do have a higher body fat percentage than men on average. But it's not like there's some hard rule that no women can have a low enough amount of body fat to achieve clear muscle definition. As with most other things, you have to go largely on a case-by-case basis. Everyone stores fat differently depending on genetics, for one thing, so the actual body fat percentage at which a woman will have visible abs will depend on how much of her fat is stored in the abdominal region, as well as the size and shape of the muscle underneath. What this means is that two women might have significantly different body fat percentages at which their abs become visible. And this will naturally bring them differing health implications. So you can't just apply a blanket rule of no abs for women. For some women, abs will be a perfectly healthy and attainable goal, while for others, they are something that they would be better off not pursuing. It's irresponsible to assume that people's bodies are all the same. And I would have thought that the body positivity crowd at least could understand this. But I guess I was giving them too much credit. I also can't help but feel that this post is a little sexist. Insofar as being underweight can be unhealthy for both men and women. But the poster is not making a general point about unrealistic levels of leanness being a toxic aesthetic ideal. Instead, by focusing on women specifically, it feels like they are trying to keep women out of a fitness space that they are just as entitled to inhabit as men are. This is especially weird considering the poster appears to be a woman, based on the use of the pronoun we, and because let's be real, how many men use the clap after every word emoji thing, haha. And if this attempt to gatekeep women from gymming isn't based on some masculine misogyny, I can only assume it's based on the poster trying to avoid comparison to, or competition with, toned women, no matter the cost, which is just profoundly sad.
The cruelest groups to fat people are, consistently, other fat people, who desperately want to be thin, and formerly fat people clinging to their thin identity. And of course it makes sense. It's hard to see others live unapologetically in a body you've been taught is inherently wrong, but the issue is not with people who are existing in fat bodies. It's with the system that made you believe you needed to change yours.
Well, if I had to guess why fat people who are trying to be thin, or thin people who used to be fat, might respond negatively to fat acceptance, it's probably because you guys tell them that they're traitors for wanting to lose weight, that they will inevitably fail to lose weight or keep it off, and that the destiny is to be stuck in a body that they're uncomfortable with until what's likely to be a premature death. It's not exactly a kind or uplifting message now, is it? I don't really know what you mean when you talk about formerly fat people clinging to their thin identity. Like they are thin. They like being thin, and they don't want to be fat again. It's not about clinging to or rejecting an identity. It's about wanting your body to be a certain way, achieving your goals, and refusing to give up your progress. The whole concept of a fat identity is honestly one of the most baffling parts of fat acceptance in my opinion. Like, do they not realize how ridiculous and unappealing it is to people who aren't already fat acceptance converts? Most fat people don't want greater acceptance of the fat identity. They want to lose weight. And basically no thin people consider thinness to be an important part of their identity. I'm convinced that the only reason they keep trying to make fat identity a thing is so they can do their ridiculous propaganda about weight loss advocates trying to eradicate fat people, or whatever, by encouraging people to shed a few pounds. At this point I feel like if you stripped so-called fat politics of its wild hyperbole and unwarranted comparisons to real liberation movements, there's nothing left at all. LMAO.
Diets are horrible, and a waste of energy. Say goodbye to restrictive diets today.
Well, when you put it like that, I guess I was wrong. Turns out diets are horrible. This changes everything. All there's left for me to do now is delete my videos, start a mukbang channel, and follow in the footsteps of the great Nikocado Avocado. I always thought that guy was a real role model. Charming, level-headed, mentally stable, and most importantly, free from the constraints of toxic diet culture. To think that I've spent all these years wanting to be a normal weight, when the truth was staring me in the face all along. It just breaks my heart. I'm sorry to all whom I've led astray with my blasphemous talk of balanced diets and moderate calorie deficits. You deserved so much better. But now, through this repentance, I can be reborn into the holy light of 1,000 golden arches. I don't know where this new life will lead me, but of one thing I am absolutely certain. I love Nikocado. But jokes aside, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's posts and my responses to them, including that Nikocado one that was probably funnier in my mind than it actually turned out to be, but you still watched it, didn't you? So haha, jokes on you. What do you think? Is Nikocado a cool dude? Are diets horrible? Are fat people mean to other fat people? Can women have abs? Let me know in the comments. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, or I'll actually start making gross mukbang videos for real. Just kidding, haha. Anyway, catch you later.